Speaker, preacher, author, and business coach. Patrice is the co-founder and chief servant officer of both Nehemiah Project International Ministries and PG and Associates LLC, which he founded with his wife and best friend, Nehemiah Tsague. Patrice specializes in helping families incorporate their faith into their business practices, ensuring that their businesses are able to exist beyond the third generation. And now, introducing Patrice Tsague.
Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm Patrice Tsague, your host, and today is Friday. Good Friday to all of you, and on Facebook, on Zoom, good to have you. And we're going to continue our discussions around my upcoming book, Biblical Entrepreneurship Essentials. We're going to be having part 5 of the discussion. We're still in chapter 1, and today we're going to talk about the entrepreneur ladder. We're going to deal with 3 kinds of entrepreneur: the traditional entrepreneur. We're going to talk about the social entrepreneur, and then the biblical entrepreneur. We're going to look at the difference between those 3 types of examples, and say, how do you move from traditional entrepreneur to social and to biblical entrepreneur? Our last podcast, we dealt with the on-ramp towards entrepreneurship. We'll dealt with a different exit path that we might take towards the journey of entrepreneurship. Well, now we are in the city of entrepreneurship, and we'll deal with the different types of entrepreneurs that you may find in the city of entrepreneurship. If you've not yet ordered your copy of the upcoming book, you can order it by visiting our website, nehemiahecommunity.com. There's going to be a link there that's going to appear. You can go to that link and order your copy of the book. You can order a digital copy or physical copy. It's not yet available, but you can pre-order it. Also, while you're there, you can get a free copy of the first chapter. So feel free to download it for yourself. If you can't find it, just email our office and we'll make sure that you'll get a copy. All right. Having said that, this has been I don't know about you guys, but it's been an incredible week. We launched a coaching certification class. As a matter of fact, it was today. We have some dynamic, all women class, new coaches who are being certified today. And myself and Deborah both are doing that. Deborah, give you a shout out. And then a couple of days ago, I think it was Wednesday, we had a trainer certification. So we're launching new certification this week, where we're getting we certifying new coaches and trainers who are beginning a journey to begin to prepare themselves to come alongside and help you entrepreneurs either train you in biblical entrepreneurship or one of the materials that we offer, Identity and Destiny and so forth, or to coach you. So if you want to be a coach or trainer, we already began the training. We're going to start another one in the first quarter of the year. Feel free to inquire our office and make sure you get on the list. We have a limited seating for those certification classes, so you can be a part of that. Having said that, let's talk about the different kinds of entrepreneurs that may exist in the city of entrepreneurship. So first, we're going to deal with the traditional entrepreneur. Well, so you've entered the city of entrepreneurship. You kind of seeing different kinds of entrepreneurs, and we're going to try to introduce you to 3 different kinds of entrepreneurs so that you might know how to identify them. You might also see the kind that you are. So let's first deal with the traditional entrepreneurs. These are entrepreneurs who are not doing it from a biblical perspective. They're just in business to make money. Okay? So traditional entrepreneurs have a single bottom line, which is profit. They're primarily motivated by pursuing increased income. They are not necessarily concerned about caring for the people they work with or impacting the community that they're working within. They do business to make money. Making money isn't wrong, but as Christians, we must be concerned not just about profit, but also the well-being of other people. And also, we got to know that the lure of wealth can cause many traditional entrepreneurs to employ corrupt practices. So we must make sure that we don't get so consumed by the profit-making motivation of business that we lose sight of what business truly should be about. And so these kind of traditional entrepreneurs also tend to give capitalism a bad name, right? Because they make people feel, because of their behavior, as though business is bad, right? When business is not bad, it's how you do business, or that money is bad. No, money is not bad. It's the love of money that's bad. Here's what Jesus said to his disciples. He said, "Watch out, be on guard against all kinds of greed. A man's life does not consist in the abundance of possession." That's Luke 12:15. So what Jesus understood, that if you're not careful, if you're not guarded as you walk out your life, that you may get caught up in the pursuit of money, which may cause you to shipwreck your life. And so let's look at an example of a traditional entrepreneur. Now, those of you who are in America, you know about this company, Enron. Enron was founded and led by a man named Ken Lay. Interestingly enough, Ken Lay was a Christian, at least he identified himself as such. So he was an American entrepreneur who merged two natural gas companies to form Enron in 1985. That's when Ken Lay formed the company. In the early 90s, he helped to initiate the selling of electricity at market prices. And soon afterwards, Congress approved legislation deregulating the sale of natural gas, making it possible for traders such as Enron to sell energy at higher prices. Again, all this is found in my new book. So Enron's revenue significantly increased when complaints arose about the price volatility, with requests for increased regulation. Strong lobbying on the part of Enron and others prevented such regulations. So they lobbied the government to keep regulations from kind of having control over the industry. So as a result, Enron became the largest seller of natural gas in North America in '92. And in an attempt to achieve further growth, pursued a diversification strategy of pipelines, electricity plants, pulp and paper plants, water plants, broadband services across the globe. They were huge. The corporation also gained additional revenue by trading contracts for the same array of product and services with which it was involved. Enron was rated the most innovative large company in America in Fortune most admired or most innovative companies by a survey Fortune magazine have. This was between 1996 and 2000. Enron revenue also increased by 750% to $13.3 billion and ultimately to $108 billion or $100 billion in 2000. The owners of Enron were very generous and supported many charities. They also granted the employees large expense accounts, and many executives were paid sometimes twice as much as the competitor. In 1998, the top paid in 1998, the top 200 highest paid employees received $193 million in salaries and bonuses and stocks. 2 years later, the figure went to $1.4 billion. It was an unprecedented success. I mean, isn't that incredible? Now, the top 200 folks in the company are earning $1.4 billion. However, propping up the fame and prosperity was corrupt and deceptive practices that eventually led them to crumble. The passion for more and more wealth, not only by Kenneth Lay, but also some of the key executives, led him to hide billions of dollars in debt from failed deals, projects, through the use of account loopholes, special purpose entities, and poor financial reporting. They pretty much lied on their reports. Enron chief financial officer and other executives not only misled Enron's board, the audit committee and the audit committee on high risk accounting practices. But also, they pressured the accounting firm, Arthur Andersen, to turn a blind eye. Once it was exposed, the downfall began, and they fell catastrophically. Enron became the largest bankruptcy reorganization in American history. And the day Enron filed for bankruptcy, 1,000 employees were let go. Nearly 62% of the 15,000 employees' savings plans relied on Enron stock that was practically worthless at that time. As Enron had nearly $67 billion, with a B, billion dollars, that it owed in debt, employees and shareholders received very limited. And if any assistance, aside from severance from Enron, over 20 people in the organization were found guilty in the court, and some committed suicide. Others were sentenced in prison. Can you believe that? In other words, here's a traditional business that got drunk on money and left many hurt in the process. Again, remember what Jesus said, that be careful of greed. See, the Enron scandal is one example of traditional entrepreneurs gone wrong. This energy company should have been providing a public service to its users and shareholders, but instead it became more focused on their own status, reputation, profits, money, while hiding and denying their mistakes. The number of people affected individually and how that compounded to impact the national economy was absolutely devastating for corporate America. If you remember, if you all remember the Enron days, it really shook our economy. You see, entrepreneurs have a responsibility to be good citizens. As part of that responsibility, it means we got to run our business ethically and honorably so that we might be able to protect and preserve the society and culture that has so blessed us by giving us the opportunity to do business to make money. Though profit is the primary goal of the traditional entrepreneur, not all traditional entrepreneurs are driven by greed or tempted by deception. Some pursue personal profit just to feed their families. The risk is without predetermined or firm commitment to a higher standard of ethics or morals or to guide how they pursue profit. So you may find yourself in this slippery slope, facing a much greater risk of becoming corrupt as a matter of course. Most traditional entrepreneurs don't start out intending to be greedy, but as they are exposed to the pressures and cultural norms of the marketplace, it can be easy to conform to it. You know, as I shared before, my mother was an entrepreneur. She was a traditional entrepreneur. She went from owning a restaurant to owning several businesses across many industries: road construction, furniture manufacturing, import and export, real estate. My mother's main motivation in business was to serve the general public, to help her family, to create jobs. She was an entrepreneur who, yes, began traditional, but she really had a care for people. However, in her perspective at times, the end justified the means. You see, to achieve her results, sometimes she engaged in some questionable practices. You know, for example, if it's traditional in my country where if you bring merchandise in the country, that you go to the port, and if you were influential like my mom was, she would negotiate and get the products out without paying, right? These are the things that my mother did. In other words, for her, the end justified the means. There weren't, things that she harmed people, but she meant well. She did what it was culturally it was in the norm of the culture to do. But however, what my mother didn't realize in doing some of that, she was in a sense doing harm to the very culture and people that she was trying to help. Well, my mom didn't know what I know today, right? So some out of innocence, out of just pure innocence, they do things that are gray or are things that may not be harmful to people, but is harmful to the culture, and in turn doesn't bring about transformation. So let's talk about a social entrepreneur, because my mother was kind of a social entrepreneur, but sometimes her ethics could also be questionable. But no one questioned her motive. She did it. She wanted to help people, right? But sometimes in trying to do that, she chose the wide path. So the second type of entrepreneur is a social entrepreneur, or an initiator, job creator who takes risk to solve market problem by starting a business profitably for the purpose of making a positive social impact. Social entrepreneurs often begin businesses out of a desire to serve society, to see people in need, and to help those people in need. They see this path reflecting the idea that they want to really help people. This is God's heart. Whether they're Christians or not, it is something that really moves the heart of God. Because here's what the Word of God says in Deuteronomy 10:18. He executes justice for the orphan and the widow. He shows his love for the foreigner by giving him food and clothing. So if you're a social entrepreneur, whether you're Christian or not, you are responding to the heart of God for justice and equity, right? Social entrepreneurs are leaders who are either they can run in for-profit business or non-profit businesses, right? Because social impact is their primary goal. They invest most of all their profit back into the mission of their organization. You see, oftentimes the term entrepreneur is only viewed as somebody who's running a for-profit business. But entrepreneurs can run a for-profit business or a non-profit business. But at the end of the day, when they run it as missional, something to help people and to make a difference, they can be social entrepreneurs. A good example of a social entrepreneur, some of you guys know him, is Sir Richard Branson, the British philanthropist. You see, he's a classic social entrepreneur for 50 years after dropping out of college. And he's become a very successful businessman. You know, he was 15 when he dropped out of school, outside of college, out of high school, sorry. He dropped out of school at 15. He found his first business that is now worth over $5 billion. He's overseen 500 companies across various fields. He's the founder of Virgin Group, which Group, owns some of the brands, Virgin Record and Virgin Airline, right, and many others. Everything starting with Virgin. He's an amazing philanthropist. I've been at a Virgin Club. Oh my God, it's incredibly amazing. This guy is. I mean, he just takes excellence to a whole nother level. But then he's also a great philanthropist. In 2004, he formed Virgin United, a nonprofit foundation for Virgin, through which he wants to make a difference around the world. He invests in things for economic development and social development. He underwrites all of the expense of this foundation. He doesn't raise any money. Is 100% supported by him. He even worked with Nelson Mandela and formed a thing called the Elders that was catalytical in South Africa. He's given over $25,000 to reward scientists who can make an impact on society and culture. He's also part of the Giving Pledge. The Giving Pledge is a group of wealthy people in America, around the world actually, started by Warren Buffett, who are committing to giving away at least half of their wealth before they die, right? That means for him, he's worth $5 billion. That means he's committed to giving at least $2.5 billion away before he dies. Some of them are looking to give away everything before they die. At least Warren Buffett is one of them, right? So social entrepreneurs, they not only make money to give away or to help other people, but social entrepreneurs make money by helping people, right? They get into the kinds of business that in the business itself is a social effort, whether it's a for-profit or non-for-profit. Maybe you have the bug for being a social entrepreneur. We'll see. So next, I'm going to conclude with biblical entrepreneurship. So we talk about the traditional entrepreneur who's focused on making money and being profitable. We've talked about the social entrepreneur who is committed to having an impact. Now we're going to talk about the biblical entrepreneur. What's the difference between the social and the traditional with the biblical entrepreneur? Before I do, we got a couple of activities coming up next week. In the weeks to come, we have classes. So go to our website. We have biblical entrepreneurship classes coming up, certificate program for women, and other courses. If you if you want to be certified to be a trainer or coach, we have one more slide, I think, in the trainer certification, and we have a couple of slides in the course certification. Next week is the last week that you have, I think so, to attend if you're new. So just reach out to our office and find out more, or go to our website and sign up for the course and training certification. The next one will be in January. So you want to jump on this one if you want to get certified now and start getting engaged. I think you can miss up to three of the first session. So you got next week, the following week to register. Great class, very transformative. Also, if you want to find out about becoming an e-community member, go to our website, and there's various membership levels there. Plug in from free level to paid level. See what interests you and what would help you. We have different live groups and connect meetings coming up around the world, around the country. Check them out so you can be a part of something that no cost to you that can help you with your walk with Christ and business. So let's conclude here with the biblical entrepreneur, which, of course, all of you guys know, understand biblical entrepreneurship, which is the course that we do. And so the biblical entrepreneur is the top of the ladder, if is the highest level of expression of what we consider to be doing business God's way. It holds the same motivation of the first two, a desire to make a profit and have a social impact. But this approach takes it one step further, with a desire to glorify God. You see, the biblical entrepreneur is defined as an individual who's led by the Holy Spirit to use his spiritual gifts, skills, and treasures to establish what we call a kingdom business, right? A kingdom business to fulfill God's covenant on earth. Secular social entrepreneurs may feel they don't need God in order to operate their businesses, but they may be humanitarian or compassionate. In contrast, biblical entrepreneurs depend on their relationship with God, and they partner with the Lord to make a difference through business. They consider the marketplace as their territory to live out their express call and to be a witness for Christ. They're mission-minded. They pursue profit and seek the benefit of society through their products and services for the glory of God. All right? And one example is that, BB, how are you? Yes, you do. I thought you've gone through BE. BB, there's actually a woman in business class coming up, BB, in the next couple of, I think next week or the next couple of weeks, where it's all women entrepreneurs. You can join that. Just go to find a class. You can find out what it's about, or you can email our office. So again, I'm talking about my latest book, Biblical Entrepreneurship Essentials, and the fundamental guide to building kingdom business. And I'm dealing today with what it means to be a traditional entrepreneur, a social, and a biblical entrepreneur. All right. So let me give you an example of a biblical entrepreneur. We all familiar with Chick-fil-A. That's kind of cheating, right? Chick-fil-A. For those who are not in America, it is a restaurant in the United States run by a Christian family that really exemplify what it means to run a kingdom business. And one of their models is that Sunday is sacred. They don't do business on Sunday. They're not open on Sunday. And by the way, Sunday is the highest day of revenue for restaurants. Sunday and Saturday to the weekends, but they close on Sunday. So Chick-fil-A is a shining example of biblical entrepreneurship. Since its summer beginnings in Georgia in 1994, founder Esther Cathy built a chicken sandwich shop with the foundation to glorify the Lord. That was his intention in the beginning. From initially putting Bible quotes on the different products that he produced, to now posting proverbs in the office wall and offering voluntary weekly prayer service for employees. Chick-fil-A is driven by the mission statement to glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that he entrusts us, and to have a positive influence on all who come to in contact with Chick-fil-A. Despite these foundations, being a biblically based business doesn't mean that they are preaching to each customer. The average customer may never know the company is affiliated with a Christian organization, is Christian. There's no mention of God in the restaurant, right? Dan Cathy, the president COO, I think he's actually now the CEO, I believe. If we don't create an atmosphere in which that persons can be very comfortable, then we've not fulfilled our mission statement, because we know the Bible speaks of love, the Bible speaks of acceptance, the Bible speaks of embracing others that are different from who you are. In other words, Chick-fil-A, though they are biblical, they're biblical entrepreneurs, they're a Christian company, but they don't lord it over you. They don't hit you over the head with it, right? That's just the way they do business. Their values are bold and courageous. So you can run a kingdom business or a biblical entrepreneurship company and be profitable. Here's why. See, individuals who want to be associated with an organization with value-based mission, Chick-fil-A is an example. Chick-fil-A shines its light through excellence in customer service, investing in its employees, and through business policies like closing entire stores on Sundays. And many have been criticized for their decisions, because Sunday is the most profitable day. But listen to the statistics. So here's a study that was done with all fast food restaurants. Are you ready for this? So the average Chick-fil-A unit made $4 million in 2017. Okay, the average Chick-fil-A store made $4 million in 2017. By contrast, the total sales of McDonald's, Starbucks, and Sundays, total stores of one of their units combined is $4 million. In other words, so $4 million and 90 is what Chick-fil-A, one store, made in 2017. And then the total combined stores of McDonald's, Starbucks, and Subway made $4,032,000. In other words, they closed on Sunday. They made more money than 3 of the top ranking fast food restaurants. See, as a kingdom business, the leadership is also committed to using profits to honor God. Chick-fil-A has a foundation where they've invested over $52 million since 2012. And they do all kinds of support around the nation and around the world. What kind of business do you want to be? Do you want to be a traditional business? Do you want to be a social entrepreneur? Or do you want to be a kingdom business, right? Which is a biblical entrepreneur, right? Because ultimately, if you choose to be a biblical entrepreneur, right, you can model what Chick-fil-A is doing. Now, but is being a Christian entrepreneur different from being a biblical entrepreneur? In other words, if you want to serve God in the marketplace, what things should you consider as you develop it? What are things to consider to truly becoming a biblical entrepreneur? There are many Christian entrepreneurs in the marketplace. Some are intentionally using their business as a kingdom company. Others are less focused on this goal. If you remember, I've done podcasts with Art Alley. We're going to have Art back next week, talking about the Timothy plan. That's another kingdom entrepreneur. That's a biblical entrepreneur right there. Art even have gone through biblical entrepreneurship himself. And so there are many entrepreneurs out there who identify as a kingdom business who are doing it well. And so it's about that expression of truly, how do I honor Christ with my business, right? How do I become like what Chick-fil-A is doing? So, but if you're not sure if as to whether this is for you or how to do it, this is what this book is about, to really guide you through it. So here are some questions you may want to ask yourselves as you think about truly how do you walk out what it means to be kingdom business? But a couple of questions for you to ask. So do you feel called by God to serve in the marketplace? Do you have a business idea that that meets a genuine need, meets a genuine need in society, and in an area that you feel God is asking you to be responsible for? Are you willing to be salt and light to represent God in the marketplace, both in word and deed? Are you willing to use your business as a platform for intentional evangelism and discipleship? Are you willing to do due diligence, take calculated risk, and prepare the business for success so you can honor him? Because just because you're doing business for him doesn't mean you are not to be excellent. Both are important. Are you willing to maintain a high moral standard and ethics as you do business? Are you willing to make God's kingdom priority versus your own within the business? Are you willing to commit a tithe to the profits to positively impacting your community and advancing the kingdom of God on earth? Are you able to prioritize your time with family and church community while meeting the needs of the business? You see, these are things for you to think through. And in conclusion, if you are a Christian, consider moving from being a traditional entrepreneur, even from being a social entrepreneur, to being a biblical entrepreneur. See, as a traditional entrepreneur, you're doing business to make money. That's important because you got to feed your family. But you can also make money while making a social impact, doing well, doing good while doing well, as social entrepreneurs do. But we want you to go even one step further. We want you to make a profit, do well, but also we want you to honor God and help to advance his kingdom, because ultimately that's what it's all about. Next week, we're going to deal with what does it take to succeed. Having learned all this, what does it take to succeed? And we're going to look at how do you, as an entrepreneur, how do you balance the roles, right? How do you balance the roles? Because now that you're ready to say, I want to do it. Okay, how do you balance the roles? What does it take to succeed? Well, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Again, we're dealing with my upcoming book, Biblical Entrepreneurship Essentials. I'm kind of a little walk you guys through it until the book comes out. You can pre-order the book by going to our website or pressing the link right there, and you can get a digital or hard copy. You can also you can pre-order. You can also get download a free copy of Chapter 1. It's about a 40-page book chapter, free Chapter 1, to kind of get into the book at no cost to you. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, I want you to share it. Share it with friends, share it with family, put it on social media, share it with those who you think can be encouraged and inspired by it as they seek to do business from God's perspective. I want to now pray for you. Before I do, I want to invite you to visit our website if you want to know more about the Nehemiah Project. All right, there's also a need assessment there that the team is putting up. Look at that need assessment, fill it out. That's the beginning of the process for us to come alongside you and see how we can be able to help you. If you go to our website, you will learn about our training program, Biblical Entrepreneurship, Identity and Destiny, Serve with Love, whatever. You will learn about it and how you can take our training programs to improve your existing business or launch a new company or be certified and be coached. You also learn about our coaching program where we can come alongside you and coach you to grow your business or launch a new business. You also learn about our access to capital where we can come alongside you and provide you capital to grow your business. And you can learn about joining the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship community, where whether it's bronze member or diamond member, we are all working together to advance the kingdom of God and to transform the world. With that said, let me pray for you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care and to steward them in such a way that one day you can hear those wonderful words. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. He'll now make you rule over much. God bless you. Have a great weekend.